Hey guys, today's video we're going to be discussing cold weather running. I just got back from St. Joseph, Michigan, spent some time outdoors. Today it's about 18 degrees outside, so I'm just going to be just kind of talking off the cuff, just give me some strategies and tips, some ideas, you know, things that I've dealt with over the years training for long distance races, middle distance races, and cold weather. You know, we all have a choice whether we want to be average, good, or great. And it's very difficult when you're outdoors, especially when it's really cold and the conditions aren't perfect, to back off and to stay indoors when everything is so nice and comfy inside. So the difference between
what the hell did you just say?
You making that next step in your training and in your racing, you've got to get out of your comfort zone. Hey guys, so I'm in St. Joseph, Michigan. It's about 18 degrees out, so I wanted to make this video to talk about how to running in cold weather. How do you deal with it? Bottom line up front, as we say in the military, is you have a choice if you're going to be good, great, or you're going to stand out. And there's going to be days where you're going to be challenged and where the weather is not going to be perfect, and you have to make that choice whether to get out the door or not. I've experienced extreme conditions over the years, training in blizzards, training in some of the toughest conditions out there, and the reason why I was able to eventually achieve the performances that I've achieved over the years is just a matter of deciding whether I was going to get out the door if it was cold or not. So as you can see here, the conditions here right on the lake, it's about 18 degrees. It's still, the lake itself isn't frozen, but it's a good day to make a video on cold weather. So some of the best things you can do is just realize that other athletes out there are making the same decision to get out the door or not. So overall, we're not going to always have perfect conditions to get out the door. So if you want to make that next step in your training, you're going to have to make the decision whether you want to be average, good, or great. And the great athletes are getting out the door, putting in the heavy work, putting in the training, whether it's perfect conditions or whether it's horrible conditions. Today's really cold. It's it's 18 degrees. Not necessarily extremely, the conditions aren't that bad, but it's still, it's still a decision that you have to make in regards to getting to the next level in your training. There's it's very easy to get outside when the conditions are great, when it's not that difficult. But days like today, when the temperatures are low, you don't necessarily want to get out the door. You gotta continue to think about what you're aiming for in 2020. Big goals demand an enormous amount of action on our part. As you can see here, I wanted to also share with you how the lake looks. You can zoom in a little bit. Fortunately, it's not that cold yet, but that's the bottom line when it comes to getting out the door. It's not always going to be perfect. So if you want to make the next jump in your training in 2020, make the decision to step out and get out your comfort zone, do the things that you don't necessarily want to do when the conditions, especially when the conditions like today aren't perfect. As you can see here, it's snow's on the ground, it's icy. It's not always going to be perfect. So it's very easy to train when everything's right, when the weather's, the temperatures are beautiful, when it's like 60, 70 degrees out. But it's a whole other thing when it's like today, when it's 18 degrees out, it's snowing, not that many people are out. It's a whole different ball game when it's training like this, when you don't want to get out the door and the conditions aren't perfect. So, over the years, like I said, I've had to train in this. I lived out in Colorado Springs for about 7 years, and the conditions were a lot like today, during the winter months, and you just have to make the choice. It's not always going to be perfect. You know, regardless of where you're currently at in your training, whether you're a beginner athlete or you're an elite level athlete, especially if you're more advanced, you already know that to make it to the next level in your training, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to do the things that other people are not willing to do. And you know, when it's easy, when you're trying to train in conditions like this, it will test you. It will test your resolve. Overall, then you're going to have to make the decision if you're wanting to step out and you're wanting to make the next big jump in your training. Then training in this type of conditions will definitely help you out in regards to that. So I just wanted to make this quick video for you. It's cold out, and running in cold weather is always going to be a challenge. So I just hope that this video, even though it's short, will give you that motivation, that extra motivation that you need, and you'll realize that, you know, athletes of all levels have to experience the same frustrations, the same challenges as you do, and let this be an opportunity for you to get to the next level in your training and in your mindset. Tough conditions like this will always get you out of your comfort zone and will help you make that next big jump. So if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, click subscribe and the bell icon. That way anytime I make a new video, you'll be notified of that. And I appreciate all the comments. If you have a specific question or something you want me to cover in the next video, leave me a comment below and I'll definitely answer. I'll always answer my subscribers' comments. So I appreciate you stopping by, and I wish you all the best in your training in 2020. Definitely make sure that, you know, you stay in the right mindset and realize that the conditions aren't always going to be perfect. And days like today are great to challenge you and get you out of your comfort zone. So I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you in the next video.